Welcome to your new home, Gauguin. The townspeople call it the Yellow House.
My word, Vincent!
Do you like them? I painted them for you to decorate the place.
Astonishing. I'm speechless. They're so vivid.
Yes, Teo has agreed to settle an allowance for you as long as you stay.
Well, the place certainly lives up to its name. You painted it yellow outside and in.
Yes, let me show you some of the work that I have here. I've painted a lot of the landscape around Arles. I've been painting the harvest all the last month, the peasants in the field and the golden meat.
Yes.
But everything is so difficult on one's own. But now, my teacher has arrived. I'm so happy that you are here, Gauguin. I've written to some other artists, and I hope that they'll come and join us and fill this place with art and talk of art.
Have any of them responded?
Not yet, but I expect to hear from them any day.
Who have you asked?
Oh, Emile, Bernard, Louis Anquetin, Henri Toulouse-Lautrec, all of the Paris group.
Bernard prefers the coast. I worked with him 2 summers ago.
Oh, well, once he knows you're here, I'm sure he'll come. I'm sure that they all will.
We'll see. Meanwhile, this place is as good as any for recovery.
Recovery?
From all the usual things. Spending too much time in the tropics, drinking too much, eating too little, having no money.
Well, you shall recover here.
I see you've painted a lot of self-portraits too. I'd say you were vain, but then I don't think it's vanity, is it, which motivates these? Otherwise they'd be a deal more handsome than the reality.
I don't think of them as vanities. I believe that self-portraits are a view to the soul.
That's a great deal more poetic than I expected of you, Vincent. Perhaps we may make an artist of you yet.
And do you never paint self-portrait?
Only when no one will sit for me. But as to the soul, if I were to paint myself in that light, I'd cast myself as Victor Hugo's man, Jean Valjean.
The hero of the story.
Eventually, but greatly misunderstood. That is what fascinates me. At the beginning is where I cast myself, when he is a rough and wild-looking man, appearing as a criminal, but yet with a noble and gentle spirit within.
It would suit you.
And you? Who would you cast yourself as?
No one in particular, but I could see myself as an apprentice in a Japanese temple, or perhaps a Buddhist monk.
I had no idea you were so spiritual.
It's not so much about religion. I made a great failure of being a Methodist preacher when I was younger, but I see myself as a follower, as a disciple. I have a great longing to sit at the feet of a great teacher and learn all that I can. Of course, you know my fascination with all things Japanese.
Japanism is all the trend in Paris. Every dilettante who claims to be cultured has a room full of prints and bowls and boxes.
They are so beautiful, the way one can see beauty in such everyday things, and the prints so flowing, so elegant.
You are attracted to things which repel me. How could everyday items be called great works of art? The plate I ate my dinner off, how can that be compared to a great piece of art exploring the mysteries of life? Art is allegory and symbolism. The trend for the Japanism is the total opposite.
They are so delicate and finely made, they cannot be compared with a dinner plate, and to me, they do seem potent.
But if they are, then it is a meaning we cannot understand. The object is divorced from culture.
Does a vase of flowers need in context? We can look at the vase and see that they are attractive and good, without thinking of the hands which arrange them, or the culture which specifies that flowers can be brought into a room and put into a vase.
But your sunflowers. You and I both know that sunflowers grow tall and wild. They turn to face the sun. These paintings have that symbolism within them. They show the sun's warmth and hopefulness, the flower's truthfulness, yet juxtaposed with the domesticity of a vase. Without knowing what sunflowers are, these would just be bright yellow daubings on a canvas, recognizable as flowers, but nothing more.
You find meanings in my work which I never intended to express.
You mustn't only paint what is in front of your eyes, Vincent.
What else is there?
You should paint your dreams and memories in the essence of the spiritual. That is where we find true art.
I will try. I want nothing more than to learn from it.
Civilization has corrupted art. I long for the primitiveness of the traditional. Call me a savage. What is art unless it shows us something deeper, than anyone's eyes alone can see.
I hope that you can teach me to see things beyond what's there. I have no imagination. All I can paint is merely what is in front of me.
Never fear, my friend. I'm sure we can teach you something.
I've painted this place before.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to create the idea of the night cafe. It was a place where one could ruin oneself, commit a crime, or go mad.
Doesn't seem that bad to me. I think I have found my Arlesienne.
Give her up. She won't sit for us. I've asked her already.
She won't sit for you, Vincent. What's her name?
Marie Genet.
Watch this. Madame Genoux, a pleasure to meet you.
And who might you be?
Forgive me, I am Eugene Henri Paul Gauguin. Please call me Paul. I'm a friend of Vincent's.
Ah, that explains a lot. Have you come over here to plead his case, Monsieur Gauguin?
Oh, to plead my own, madame. Won't you join us?
Very well. Your friend is very forward.
A glass of absinthe, madame?
Oh, no, thank you. Only the horse drink whilst working.
Ah, you are wise. It helps us painters see things as they could be.
Oh, you're a painter as well. I should have known.
A painter, a stranger in town. But tell me more about art. I want to know about its habits and customs.
And its depravities, no doubt.
I'm sure Vincent can inform me well enough of those. No wonder you scare the good ladies of art with a look such as that.
Being unfair, I've never treated any of the women here with anything except the utmost courtesy.
Oh, you are a little fierce, Vincent. You must admit that.
I never understand what people mean when they say that if I have passion, then...
Vincent!
Relax.
We missed you in the arena today.
Well, I was just meeting my friend here off the train. This is Paul Gauguin, an artist from Paris.
Monsieur Gauguin, we must take you down the arena while you're here. How long are you staying?
For always, he has come to live with me, Joseph.
How excellent. One step closer to your cherished article here, Vincent.
The scenes here are so perfect, the light.
Don't talk about work with these people, Vincent. They're not interested in the light here. Now tell me about the arena. What happens there?
Bullfighting, of course.
Oh, a savage sport.
Oh, you should have been there today. The matador was so courageous, jumping in front of the young bull's head and then away.
Oh, I've been to bullfights in Panama.
You've travelled, sir.
When I was a teenager, I ran away to join the Navy, and then last year I spent 6 months on the island of Martinique, living in a native hut and watching and painting the local women.
Well, that sounds a fine life.
I do miss the simplicity of life there. I see myself as more of a savage than a Frenchman. My mother was an aristocrat of Peru, you know, and I believe I have inherited a spirit for an Incan culture where a man can truly be himself.
He thinks that there should be an artist colony in the tropics.
You think so much of the light here at Arles, Vincent. You should see the Caribbean.
Not for me, my friend. I think it would be too far from the tale.
I do think the people in both places are worth painting, though.
Both places.
Not the Caribbean and here in Arles. I particularly like the sense of tradition that I found to be so absent in Paris.
Yes, you're right. I think portraiture is truly noble. I think people everywhere are worth painting.
I also like the way the women dress here, with that black blouse and that white, wide collar.
I see where this is going. I've already told Vincent I won't sit for you artists. I'm far too busy. Besides, I'm not sure Monsieur Genoux would approve.
You are perfectly respectable, madame. You have such a striking face. You would be a perfect model.
Flattery will get you nowhere with me. Well, I have a stack of glasses to keep washing.
Will you permit me to follow you to the bar?
Want another? I can bring it to you.
Oh, I wouldn't say no to another, but mostly I just want to continue our conversation.
Oh, sister, about it.
It's one of my finest qualities.
Why did you come to art? Has Vincent really persuaded you of the superiority of the painting opportunities here?
Well, partly, and also partly I've run out of money, and Vincent's brother Teo has promised me an allowance as long as I live with him.
So what does that make you? Vincent's cook? His cleaner? His nanny?
Some unholy combination of all three, I should think. Is he that bad?
Well, he hired a local woman to clean for him for a week, and she quit. He eats all his meals in here because he never learned how to cook.
And he needs a nanny.
Well, you live with him for a week and then you tell me.
Sounds a daunting prospect. I think I should need some friends if I'm to survive it.
This town is full of hard-working people, monsieur. I'm not sure how many painters it can support.
As many as can pay for paint, I should think. But we're not so bad, madame. Don't judge us all by the first example you meet.
Well, I'll reserve judgment for now.
Is that not the sound of the start of a beautiful friendship?
I should think it is little enough you can
A little is all I need, madame.
All this, just because you want to paint me.
Oh, you do me a disservice. How much of friendship, not merely your good looks.
Will you not get either if you can't hold a sensible conversation without resorting to flattery?
Well then, to answer your question in a sensible manner, I would like to paint you. You seem to me to represent the epitome of the woman of the region. And also, it's always a good idea to make friends with the lady who serves your drinks.
Well, that at least is a practical answer.
And may I hope that one day you will consent to sit for us?
I'll speak to Monsieur Genoux about it.
There's a crowd here tonight.
There always is.
Oh, you've been here before.
One brothel or another, they're all the same to me.
Do you ever hear from your wife?
Vincent, what a place to ask something like that. No, I don't. Not since she kicked me out.
I thought you left her.
Because I had to. Her family didn't approve of my painting, and neither did she, to be perfectly honest. She married a successful city businessman and ended up with an artist. Don't be. I'd rather be a disreputable artist than just another city businessman. And I haven't been lacking for female company.
In Martinique?
There and everywhere else. Women aren't such a mystery, Vincent. They all want something from you. It's just a matter of working out what.
What of love?
I don't believe in it. A woman is useful to you, and you are useful to her in some way.
But if I feel, if not love, exactly, then a protective instinct. It hurts me to see a woman out on the street with a child cling onto her, with weather-beaten skin and a tattered skirt. A woman so full of sadness and melancholy makes such an effort to smile when I ask how she is.
But Go too far with it, Vincent. Just give her a few francs and be done with it. There's no need to move in with her.
If I want to lift such a woman out of her sadness and poverty, how does that make me cold?
Oh, I'm not apportioning blame to you, Vincent. Why bother? Surely you'd be happier with a woman who makes merry and brings you a glass of wine than someone who's ugly or miserable or old.
Perhaps, but I've never been good at thinking only of my own happiness.
That, my friend, is the chief difference between us. I think ceaselessly of my own happiness and rarely of anyone else's.
Pretty girl.
Brothels are full of pretty girls, Vincent. They're almost as skilled with paint as we are.
Oh, she's not a whore girl. She isn't dressed like that. You there, girl. What's your name?
Rachel, monsieur.
And what's a pretty girl like you doing in a place like this?
I am just a maid, monsieur. I have been up after the gentleman.
Must keep you busy.
Yes, monsieur.
What happened to your arm, my dear?
A few years ago, a dog bit it, and my parents took me to Paris for vaccinations.
Paris. Do you remember Paris, girl?
I was there 2 weeks ago.
You know, my brother, Theo, and I had a flat up by the Rue Montmartre. It was wonderful. There were so many artists. We would sit and talk in the cafes for hours and hours. I learnt so much.
About Paris?
No, about art. It's where I first met the new school of art, Impressionism.
Impressionism, monsieur.
Yes, light and colour. I was brought up knowing the Dutch masters, and their work is so dark and gloomy, and so was mine. But then Theo introduced me to the art of Paris.
I went to the theatre in Paris once. I remember thinking how everything was so full of light. The rivers in the cafes lit up.
Yes, the light at night is the brightest of all. You know, I'm so happy when I can scoop up yellow paint with my knife and just smear it across the canvas. Yellow here, the streetlights, yellow here, the reflections, yellow and more yellow.
Yellow is a sickly colour.
No, it is the colour of happiness. There's so much yellow when I lived in Paris with my brother.
Did you do many paintings in Paris this year?
A little. There was a hill up near the Sacred Cour with a little window. Out of the city a bit. I painted there.
And you painted this new way, Impressionism.
I tried to, but I'm still learning.
Okay, you're not drawing me this year.
But of course I am. Have I offended you?
No, but why me? There are plenty of other women here.
Well, you intrigue me, but here. If I have offended you, there. Now you know I have no hold over you, no part of your spirit.
Part of my spirit.
Oh, a drawing has power, you know, a power to capture the essence of a room, the truth of a scene.
I don't believe you.
You must let me draw you as well.
Oh, no, I've been standing here too long already. I need to go back to cleaning. You won't put me in your painting, will you?
Not if you don't want me to. I'll stick to the card players there and the one in the red dress there.
How very sweet.
Yes, she listened to me.
God knows why the rubbish you speak. You think the Dutch masters are gloomy?
I was brought up knowing the Dutch masters. Their work is too dark for the modern audience.
Impressionism has brought colour into popularity, but don't dismiss the work of the masters. Think of the genius of Rembrandt.
His portraiture was extraordinary.
And the way he uses light. That you can see sunshine or lamplight glancing across the figures.
You know, there's a museum nearby with some of his works in. I think we should visit sometime.
Indeed, we must visit. Another woman murdered in London.
Whitechapel killer.
Looks like it.
He eviscerates them.
I know.
What time is Madame coming over?
Any minute now.
I'm amazed you've managed to persuade her.
She is a devilishly stubborn woman, but I can be very persuasive.
You haven't done anything to get yourself in trouble with her husband, have you?
Of course not. Just exercising my charming personality.
You better get your canvas ready.
Oh, no, I'm just sketching today. Madame, come in!
Absolutely pouring down outside. You're such a miserable man.
Oh, I'm sorry to make you come out on the day such as this. Sit there, it's the warmest spot.
Yes, it's not even 5 minutes from the house.
Oh, we're very grateful.
Yes, you got what you wanted, and here you now. There's no need to flatter me anymore.
It's my favourite hobby.
Madame, if you could just sit and play us out.
Vincent, let the poor woman dry out first. Madame, would you like a drink, a coffee?
No, thank you. You can start if you like. I'll rise and draw.
Are you comfortable?
Yes.
Have you seen my palette?
It's upstairs, I think. I tell you, whilst he's gone, Madame, Vincent has not been quite himself lately.
You mean he's been acting strangely? I can tell you that's nothing new.
He quotes the Bible.
So do many respectable men.
He seems fascinated in the strangest things. He dwells on the macabre.
Concerned.
Oh, not for me. I'm sure he wouldn't harm anyone, but maybe...
What?
Nothing. I was just telling Madame about your painting of your parents' garden in Eton. You remember our exercise, working from memory? How's it coming along?
Yes, I'm nearly finished, but I can't say I'm very pleased with it.
Tell Madame about it. Madame, there are 2 ladies walking down the path in a garden. They're mysterious, these ladies.
Yes, the elderly appears like my mother. It might have been her that I had in mind when I sat down to paint.
And the younger?
Perhaps my sister.
Or a lover of yours?
There are many strands which entwine to form a man's life, Gauguin. Who can tell which strand guided my hand as I moved it across the canvas? No, Peter couldn't stay awake in the garden.
Here he goes again.
The Christ needed him to stay awake, but he couldn't. You and I must stay awake for each other, Gauguin, and you for both of us, Madame.
Stop talking, Vincent. You're going to run out of black paint.
I'm basically finished, so
Already?
I'll go and fetch some more.
He's only been here for an hour. He's a nightmare to live with, Madame. So untidy, and he has no idea how to budget. I'm sorry to mention this to you, but last week he spent 40 francs in the brothel. When I confronted him about it, he told me it was a hygienic necessity.
He's a strange man, especially women.
A menace. He told me that when he was younger, he fell in love with a widow, an older woman. He proposed to her, apparently, and when she rejected him, she ran away to her father's house from his advances. He followed her there, apparently, demanded to see her.
Some might call that a tragic romance.
I would say it's pathetic.
Well, you have the advantage of a handsome face. You can afford to be arrogant.
Am I arrogant, Marie?
You're the most narcissistic man I've ever met.
It's part of my charm.
You know, Monsieur Genoux wasn't happy about my coming here today. He said I had to be home before dark.
It never really got light. It's raining so hard. Is he suspicious of me?
No, of Vincent.
Vincent! Why?
Thinks he's pursuing me.
Do you think he is? Oh, he's so difficult. It's hard to tell what he's thinking sometimes.
Yes, he can be intense.
But never in a direct way. He hovers around the edges, making oblique comments and obscure references. You never really know what's bothering him until it's too late.
What do you think is bothering him?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I wish I'd never left Paris.
Why don't you go back?
I have been thinking about it, but I've met some delightful people here. It would be a shame to leave them behind.
Are you leaving it? I should be heading back.
Oh no, don't go yet. I'm not done with this sketch.
You better be drawing me accurately. Don't make me look like some young girl. Make sure you draw all my wrinkles.
Oh, I can't see any wrinkles, Marie.
That's because the light is poor and you're sitting at a distance.
Should I come closer?
No, you spoil the perspective.
Perspective, Marie? Do you want to know what I see? I've drawn your thick hair using my darkest charcoal. I've drawn your elegant neck with your white laced collar. I've drawn your lips pressed together because you do not approve of me, although I do not have the paints to render them red, like Bordeaux wine. And now, I am drawing your eyes.
So you need to go. Monsieur Genoux will be worried.
Will you come to sit for us again?
I don't think so. I'm already stiff for sitting too long.
Well, at least let me walk you back.
Don't be ridiculous. It's not even 5 minutes.
Very well. Au revoir then, Marie.
Goodbye.
Where have you been?
Got paints.
I've been thinking of returning to Paris.
Why?
Because I can't stay here any longer, Vincent. I can't bear being cooped up in this tiny house with the smell of yellow paint and the incessant rain drumming on the windows.
Look, I do wish we could go outside and paint, but we have friends that will come and sit for us. Joseph has agreed to bring his wife and youngest daughters.
I don't want to paint these people anymore. They're not interesting. I want to go where there's sunshine and warmth and a beautiful girl waiting for me when I get home, not some sulking Dutchman.
I'm sorry, but I can be so contrary again. Look, sometimes I worry that I can be too demanding of you, but please stay, just a little while longer.
I'll stay. I'll stay a while longer.
How'd you end up working in a place like that?
After my arm, the vaccinations are very expensive, so...
So you took the first job going then?
Well, my parents aren't happy about it, and I'd much rather work somewhere like here if I could.
I'm afraid there's not much call for more than weekend help here. Most of the time I manage the bar single-handedly.
I know.
Well, everyone in town knows you're a good girl. Can you lift much weight with that arm?
Madame! A bottle of your finest wine for my friends and I. Ah!
You're very exuberant tonight, Monsieur Cornell.
You saw the painting, we're celebrating.
Ah, Rachel, my dear, how wonderful to see you.
I suppose I should congratulate you.
Madam Janelle asked us how that happened.
Oh, we're so unfriendly, madame. Why don't you come here and give me a congratulatory kiss?
Give me your hand.
Have you
There.
celebrated?
Congratulations. I just don't see there's anything special to celebrate. Do you see me celebrating every time I sell a bottle of wine?
Oh, but your wine is far greater than any of my paintings and far easier to sell. Quick, a glass.
A toast to success.
Success!
Oh, music, play us a song. a dance, madame. Madame, now you must dance with me.
No, now the girls dance together.
Come on, Vincent, don't stand there sulking. No, I'll get it over.
Faster!
Oh. Are you avoiding me, Marie?
How can I? I was here in the cafe.
Oh, but you haven't come to sit for us again.
We're very busy. The cafe's always full when it rains.
Oh.
How have you been, my dear?
Very well, thank you, Stuart.
What about the conversation we had? Lots. Yes.
Vincent, you mustn't hold this pretty girl to yourself all night long.
Joseph tells me you've been writing to your artist friends again.
Yes, they're all so successful.
Are more of you coming here?
No, not yet.
I think Vincent is in love with you.
Don't be ridiculous, Stuart.
Stop staring at her.
I can't help it. She's like a lamp in the room, so full of youth and hope.
Oh, just go and get it over with.
I don't want to.
Then you won't object to me trying.
Stop it. As if you haven't already had half the girls in ours already. What would you do with one more?
So you do care about her.
Not in a vulgar way, not the way you were implying.
Is it your souls communicate?
I do have a soul.
Oh, well, you should squeeze it out of your paints and sell it for 100 francs.
He was despised and forsaken of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and like one from whom men, who hide their face, he was despised, and we did not esteem.
Shut up, Vincent.
I say the prophet.
If I wanted a sermon, I would go to a church. hell are you doing?
Nothing. I was doing nothing.
You were about to...
I was sorting the paints. I was
Sorting?
A letter for you, Vincent.
Thank you.
From your brother again.
Yes, it looks like it.
Evening, Monsieur Gavin.
Good evening.
Good Lord.
What?
It's Ted.
What about him? Is he ill?
No, he's engaged.
Engaged?
To a Dutch woman he met in Paris, he says, called Joanna Bond.
You should be happy for him.
No, but if he gets married, he'll have a wife and children. And then what use will he have for a brother and a failure of an artist club?
You're afraid he's going to cut you off?
Cut me off, do you think he would?
I was asking you, Vincent, not saying calm down.
Sometimes I feel so guilty that I rely on Teo so much. I can't even afford my own bread and butter, let alone my own paints and canvases. I am such a burden, but what am I supposed to do? I have no means of ever repaying him, none at all. Is it my fault that my paintings don't sell? I believe that they are worth something. Teo believes they're worth something, so why don't people buy them? I wanted to create an artist colony, a place where people could come and talk of art. I wanted a simple existence, but how can a man's existence ever be simple when he must buy bread every single day? What are you doing?
I'm packing.
Packing why?
Because I can't stay here a day longer.
Then you should go. This small town is clearly too small for the likes of you.
It's not the town. The town is lovely, and Paris is so stifling and wet in the winter.
But here we all suffer. The winds in these narrow streets sow seeds of madness in everyone.
My constitution is robust enough to withstand a little breeze.
Then perhaps it's the women that make you want to leave. Is it that they are so ugly here, or that you've already worked your way through all the attractive ones?
Is that what you think of me? A man has taste, Vincent. Mine are not so voracious that the woman of Arles cannot satisfy me.
There's me. Are you fed up of me?
I can't be what you want me to be. You've built up this idea of an artist colony in your head, and you're too stubborn to realise it's never going to happen. Can't you see? There's no artist paradise. There's no grand vision. There's just two miserable, pathetic men sulking in this ludicrous yellow house.
You wanted this too. You could have stayed in your precious Martinique.
I only came here because of Teo's money.
I don't believe you. You are lying.
No, I have to go.
I will make you stay.
I'm going out. I can't pack with you in this state.
You see this? The murderer fled the scene. That's you. You're leaving me here and you're going. That's you!
I'm going out now, Vincent. I'll be back to collect my things later.
No! What should I do? I can hear you again in my head. Are you something within me? Or something external, some force for good? Or some demon? Am I possessed? Tell me something I don't already know. Teo is getting married Gauguin is leaving. I know! Gauguin, you and I were supposed to help it. But I have failed you, and you have failed me. I could not bring you peace. I could not make you stay. My flesh. No one wants me. No one needs me.
Monsieur Van Gogh, are you all right? Your face.
Rachel, I have something for you.
What?
Hold out your hands. Take this. In memory of me.
Vincent. What?
What's going on? Who's there? Vincent? Vincent? What's with his blood? What's going on?
Joseph, Gauguin, he...
Gauguin, well, not Gauguin. The two of you have a fight? Help! Be a doctor!
Monsieur Roland?
Go to town, fetch a doctor.
Monsieur, his ear, monsieur, he's cut off his ear.
Tell us what happened later, child. We need the doctor. Go! Stay away, Vincent. He'll be all right. The doctor will be here soon.
Give it to Rachel, my flesh, the pain.
The doctor will give you something.
It's fine,
Vincent. The doctor will give you something.
If I can help him, then Christ was crucified for his disciples, Joseph. If I can help him, then
Hush now, hush now. It will be all right, Vincent. It will be all right.
Here, doctor.
Thank God.
Then look at him. Move over a little, you're blocking the light. I can't do anything with him here. He's losing too much blood. We're going to have to go to the hospital. Can you help me carry him to town?
Of course.
Monsieur.
What is it?
His ear, monsieur, is still here.
My God.
Pick it up and bring it with you. I may still be able to reattach it.
Teo and I are leaving for Paris.
So soon, but Taylor only just got here.
He has convinced himself that Vincent's condition is stable and he is keen to return to his fiancée.
It would be beneficial for his brother's health if he could stay, I'm sure. The man has acute mania with generalized delirium. He can barely remember what happened last night.
And I think it is best that way.
What did happen with you two? We wondered if you'd had a fight.
Please don't ask me that. I've already been explaining to the police. We had an argument, I left, and the next thing I know, the police are telling me that Vincent has cut his own ear off. The man is impulsive, it's consistent with his character.
You must have been really upset.
Yes. And now, I must leave. Awaken him gently. If he asks me, tell him I have gone to Paris. I fear the sight of me might prove fatal to him. And doctor, tell him I didn't mean what I said about his artist colony. It was a good dream. A shame it couldn't last.
Good guy.
Gauguin has left for Paris.
And Taylor, I thought I heard him.
He came to you, but he couldn't stay.
No one can ever stay. I'm a failure.
You've lost a lot of blood, Vincent. Try and stay calm. This agitation will worsen your illness. Try and eat something. Try and regain your strength. All you need to do now is eat and rest. A few square meals and several good nights' sleep will do the world of good, I'm sure.
Will you write to Taylor for me? I don't feel up to it at the moment.
Of course.
Tell him that I am perfectly fine, that I suffered a slight attack, a discomposure, now feeling much better.
I will try to put his mind at rest. A visitor for you.
Vincent. What on earth have you got yourself into now, eh?
Joseph, how good of you to come.
Of course. I wasn't going to leave a friend in a dreadful place like this now, was I? Oh, no offence, Doctor.
Oh, no, taken.
How are you?
A little weak, to tell you the truth.
And your mental state?
Confused, nothing more. I fear that I suffered an attack last night, the likes of which I hope to never experience again.
I'm not too sure Gauguin was a good companion for you.
Perhaps. I think I may have been working too hard.
Your paintings?
Painting is the only time that I feel sane. Gauguin wanted me to paint what's in my mind, but no one wants to see that.
Vincent, you've painted all the countryside around it and my entire family.
Painting what's real, it anchors me. The trees, the fields, the sunflowers. If I can paint them, then I can be a part of their world, a world of light and colour. I've tried to be a sunflower, always turning to the light.
I don't understand you, Vincent.
I can do nothing well. I was a failure as an art dealer, as a preacher, as a teacher, as a missionary. I can paint. Not very well, perhaps, but I believe the day will come when people will look at my paintings and see that they are worth more than the paint that was put into them. These paintings have cost me a great deal in blood and in rain as well.
You can paint well, Vincent. I don't know much about it, of course. But me and my wife like your paintings very much. He's sleeping.
How is he?
Sad, I think. He speaks like a rational man, but yet I don't understand half of what he says.
You mean he's wandering in his mind?
No, no. It's more that the faults he has are so far beyond the faults that I have. You see, I'm a simple man, madame. I work, and I return to my family. I eat, I drink. I love my wife. My only worry is like how to stretch my salary through the week. I stand there, smile, and see my children playing. But Vincent's a different kind of man. His work, his art is his life. He worries about his soul and his posterity, things no man has any control over.
That is because you are sensible and he is not.
You speak as though you don't like him, but yet here you are.
I brought some sweets for him. Hospital food will do him good, I'm sure. Very plain.
I think he's lonely.
Well, he scares away anyone who might care for him.
Is that why Gauguin left, do you think?
Talking of good gown, we're not as bad as each other.
A toast to recovery. Marie, have a drink with us.
Oh, not now, messieurs, but I am glad you're feeling better, Vincent.
Yes, at least I'm free.
Free.
Of the hospital, those meddling doctors.
I'm sure they were only trying to help.
Oh, yes.
Have you been painting lately?
A little. I painted a self-portrait of me with a huge white bandage under a great fur hat. And I painted a portrait of Dr. Ray, although I don't think he likes that very much.
Nonsense. I'm sure he's flattered at a painting by our very own artist of Arles.
Artist of Arles, indeed. What kind of artist cannot sell his own paintings? And as for being of our people here, they despise him, Joseph.
Despise you? What on earth has given you that idea?
Everyone watches me. They wait for me and they watch me. They wait for me to writhe on the floor and froth at the mouth. And the doctors, they prod and they poke at me as though I am some rat sprawled out on the table for them. And even Madame has turned against me.
Madame Genoux, what has she done?
She's poisoning my food, Joseph. She knows that I can't cook. She knows I have to come here to eat now that Gauguin has left.
Now, Vincent, Marie cares about you a great deal. Why would she want to poison you?
She's putting arsenic in my food. I can tell it gives me headaches.
Have you been to the doctor? Maybe the headaches are caused by something else.
Dr. Ray said that I hadn't been poisoned, but how can you know? I know she poisons me, Joseph. She sprinkles it in my food.
Pepper, Vincent. She sprinkles pepper on your food, not arsenic.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm saying you seem somewhat confused.
Well, I do have such odd moods at times.
You seemed unhappy lately.
Sometimes I am in such indescribable anguish that time and fatality press upon me so heavily. Other times, the veil lifts slightly.
Perhaps you should speak with Dr. Raymond. He is your friend.
And you, Joseph, are you my friend?
Of course I'm your friend, Vincent. But I came here to tell you something. I'm leaving.
Leaving. Why, where?
To Marseille. It's a promotion, a better position, a higher wage.
You can't leave on.
I don't doubt it'll be difficult. My family will stay here for now. I can't afford to keep them all in Marseille. But it'll be a temporary separation. One I don't doubt will be difficult, but one that will be better in the end.
And me, Joseph? What of me?
You'll be fine, Vincent.
First night that I spent alone in the yellow house, I was so lonely I couldn't sleep at all.
But since then you've slept better?
A little. But who knows when my illness will come upon me again. I could be unable to paint, unable to sleep.
Or perhaps things will get better. Perhaps you'll sell a painting, or your brother will come to visit, or another artist.
Last night, I saw sunflowers in my room. They were crawling up the ceiling.
The paintings? Gauguin told you painted them.
No. Not the paintings. These were real sunflowers. They were crawling up the walls. They were pointing their great big heavy heads at me. They were mocking me, Joseph.
Perhaps you were dreaming, Vincent.
Perhaps. What is this? What are you bringing me now?
Well, I thought you might want some more wine, but perhaps you've had enough already.
Don't think you can fool me, madame. Do you think I want this?
Fool you? What on earth has gone into you tonight?
Ignore him.
You think I don't know? Giving me these drinks which meddle with my head, it's shameful. You're shameful. Are you trying to hurt me? Are you in love with Gauguin?
What rubbish are you talking? I'm married. I've no desire to hurt you.
Forgive him, madame. It appears Vincent has drunk more than he should tonight.
Just take him home, monsieur. He's disturbing my other patrons.
On what charges do you bring me here against my own will? What have I done to anyone here that I should be locked up like this?
The mayor has ordered it, Vincent. I'm sorry, but I've got to comply and put you in isolation, at least for a little while.
What?
Townspeople have signed a petition. They say that you're mad, that you drink, and you behave badly.
And what concern is of theirs how I behave? I am sick, but I've never harmed any of them.
Perhaps this is for the best, Vincent.
Who signed
I
it?
don't know.
Tell me!
I know your neighbours signed. I think they passed it down the Rue de Tolerance. And the Ginots.
The Ginots. How unfair.
I know this comes as a blow, Vincent, but try and stay calm. Can't you see how your agitation will only aggravate the town's feelings against you? What you need to do now is stay here quietly for a while.
Yes. Yes, you are right, but how cowardly to band against one man, and a sick one at that. At least bring me my pen and paper so I can write a tale. And my pipe and tobacco.
I cannot permit you to smoke, Vincent. It might worsen your condition. The paper I will bring you.
Mad. I am not mad yet.
Here. Vincent. What did happen that night with you and Gauguin?
A personal matter of no concern to anyone.
Well, he told me to tell you that he didn't mean what he said, and that it was a good dream and it's a shame it didn't last.
It was his fault that it didn't last.
The last time your brother and I corresponded, there was talk of you entering the asylum in Saint-Denis?
We had spoken of it, yes.
And you're considering it?
I told Teo that I would enter the asylum if he thought it best. I am no more insane than any other artists.
You're a sick man, Vincent.
No more sick than the people in this town.
I think you would be happy in Saint-Denis. People there that can care for you and watch over you.
Would they let me paint?
I think they would. I can write and ask to set aside a room for your studio. I know how much it means to you.
Very well. You know, I sometimes like to amuse myself with the thought that one day, perhaps 100 years from now, people will look at my paintings and see the thickness of the paint, the curls of colour, the sweeping of the brush, and they will think of the man that might have made them. Very well. I will willingly enter the asylum, giving up my chance of freedom for stability.
You are making the right choice, Vincent.
You know, maybe we're all mad in some way. But perhaps the day will come when we're all diagnosed with these neuroses. But doesn't the antidote exist in music and art and literature, in Delacroix, in Berlioz and Wagner? If I am to be struck to the marrow by this affliction, I will maintain that the consolations of this world are enough.
One year and 3 months after leaving Arles, Vincent van Gogh shot himself in the chest with a revolver. He died from the wounds 2 days later, aged 37.
Exhibitions of his artwork were held in the major cities of Europe: Brussels, Paris, The Hague and Antwerp. Vincent sold his first painting, The Red Vineyard, just 5 months before his death. He never lived to see his popularity.
He became the archetype of the tortured artist, his madness forever associated with the beauty of his paintings. The details of his life were immortalised through his letters to his brother Teo, all of which Teo kept.
Vincent van Gogh became perhaps the most popular artist of his generation. This man who lived and died in obscurity had become a household name across the whole of Europe within 2 generations of his death.
Much of his paintings express what is best in the world. The simple joys of an evening with friends, a day's work well done, or the beauty of the stars in the night sky.